Hello everybody and welcome back to All the Mod 7 to the Sky. In this episode, as you can see behind me, we get our Mekanism reactor set up. So now we are start producing the waste, turning that into polonium and plutonium, and as a byproduct we're making a lot more power. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so today we're finally going to be working on the actual reactor, so next episode we can actually start making the antimatter. Because this episode we're just going to be mainly working on actually creating the reactor, setting it up to start making polonium and plutonium, so the next episode we'll be able to make the SPS Supercritical Phase Shifter casing and all that from the polonium, and actually start making the antimatter. So to do that we're going to need to do a few things, and actually since last episode, we got ourselves the induction matrix. I have upgraded the thing to have the full amount in there so far. So we are currently storing over 200 billion FE out of 54 trillion, which is a lot of power. I did upgrade the gas burning generator, so we have an extra 4 of them, which are generating over nearly 200,000 FE a tick, which is great. And yeah, so that's more or less it for that. So it actually is Christmas, as you can see. So we actually had this Christmas present that we got like a couple episodes ago, I think. So the way I found that you had to open it is you need to get yourself a gravestone. And you can't see it because of shaders turned on, but if I disable shaders, you can see this little purple orb. And apparently all I have to do is just right click it when there's a purple orb, and boom, I got new knowledge of death. And I got a present, which is a merchant stone. And if I open this other present, it is a familiar stone, which is that these rare magic allows you to bring back to life your last dead familiar. Well, I don't have a familiar, so that's kind of useless to me. But it means we can remove this now because I have some new plans for this platform right here. Oops, did not mean to do that. Turn back on my magnet. I want to actually do FDP industrial contraptions up here, as well as maybe one ritual from occultism, because we're going to need one of them just to make ourselves our, I don't know which ritual it's under. Oh, this one here, for the dragon soul. We need empty soul gems. So we're going to have to set up like a load of these guys. We only need to make like 11 or 12 of them, so we don't have to worry too much about it, so we can easily do them by hand. But we are going to have to set up this ritual, which I should be able to fit like in the corner here. So we're probably going to remove that and do FTB industrial contraptions over there. And then what I want to do is revamp my ore processing. Let's turn back on my shaders here. So what I want to do is actually turn this into, well, a better process, because at the moment we're just doubling our resources. If I were to actually use the other, it used to be 5 times ore processing, but now it requires, since this is now raw iron, 3 per thing. So if we get a chemical dissolution chamber, we put 3 raw iron in, we get this dirty iron slurry that makes 2 buckets, okay? Each one of these buckets will be able to make us about like 5 ingots. So, because it requires 200 millibuckets for a crystal. So, if 3 raw iron make 2 buckets, that's 10 ingots. That's a lot. So, we're pretty much going to be almost 3 timesing our ore, I think. I can't think of it correctly. It's either 9 timesing it, 3 timesing, I don't know. But whatever it is, it's 3 raw iron to 10 ingots, because 10 divided by 3 is an odd number because it's not a remainder, so you've almost do it as like 9 divided by 3 is 3 with 1 left over. So yeah, we're going to be getting like that many ingots out of just 1 ore. So 3 ingots per raw iron, which is then 10 for 3 of them, because you get a bonus of 1, I think. So that's actually really good. So that's the way I want to do it, because then all we have to do is get ourselves a chemical injection chamber, make hydrogen chloride, which is the salt, which we can get from separating brine. If we have a look in here, because we're going to need hydrogen and chlorine. Chlorine is gotten by separating brine, and we are going to be getting a good bit of chlorine now today, because we're going to be making sodium, which is going to be used to cool our reactor. So that excess chlorine that we are producing, we can store it and then use it over here so that we can actually process up those resources. Now, that will be a while before we actually do that, because there's a few things I want to get done before we probably start that. So that's going to be getting ourselves our antimatter from our mechanisms, and we're also going to... What the... Wow, that was a big slime wearing a chain helmet. Okay. And we're going to get our FTB industrial contraptions antimatter set up as well. And then after that, we can look into processing up our resources, because then we're also going to have to go through the Twilight Forest and kill like 20, no, not like 20, maybe like 12 Snow Queens so we can get all their trophies. So yeah, it's going to take a while, and you can see we're going to need quite a bit of antimatter for here and a lot of compressed blocks. So if we follow this to-do list here, we should be able to get everything here. So we're making the reactors, then getting the antimatter from empty contraptions. Then we're going to start cultum so we can make all of our different soul gems. And then we're going to start moving all of the stuff in these drawers into our ME system, because if you come down here, I did upgrade one of these guys here to use the 1 million mega storage crafting thing, because I was trying to make like, I don't know, 1 million or 2 million glass or something like that, but we didn't have enough resources to actually craft it all. So I tried making a bigger one, still didn't have enough, so I could only do 1 million glass. So yeah, and I did also add more molecular assemblers and a few more pattern providers on the back. There's 8 of them in total. I can't add any more, or there's not enough channels. I think these machines can only connect up to 8 things on itself, even though I do have like a dense smart cable here that can hold up to 32 channels. So I think I'm only going to be able to fit 8 per thing, and I'm just going to have to like separate them out if I want multiple of these guys. But I don't think we're going to need any more than that, because if we look in here, we have a lot of slots for crafting, so I'm not too worried. So yeah, we need to come over here now and actually start doing this. So we'll just do this while I'm talking. So we need to put a rotary condensator here. We need to put a pressurized reaction chamber here. We need to come in here and convert this. So it says no items and gases are going to input the bottom, and we're going to have fluids output at the top, okay? So this is what's pretty much going to happen. This is going to come in here, turn into a liquid ethylene. The liquid ethylene is now going to get pumped out into the pressurized reaction chamber. This guy right here, let me put that away. So in here, site configuration, we're going to have items come in the top, output out the top, all the way checked on. Fluids input the top and gases input on the right. Okay, there's no byproduct from crafting this stuff, so we're okay with that then too. Next thing we need to do is get ourselves some pressurized tubing and come over to this guy here. Remove this point because I don't think I need it. Grab the oxygen, which is the light blue. We have a look. So it's like this dark blue, this is cyan. So gases, right click to go from the bottom list to the top. So we just cycle through from the bottom. So output number 2, cyan, which is going to be oxygen. Stick the pressurized tube on top. And now we just need to bring this all the way across to this guy. Like so. Now you're filling with oxygen, you have liquid ethylene. The only thing they're missing now is some power. So if I just grab my point and some universal cable and just connect these up like this. I'm going to have to go up and around like this. I know this is kind of a weird, but like I said, I'm going to be moving this whole setup probably over there because this is where I want to do the ore processing. So stick that there, stick the wrench, pull that out, and then we just need to grab some pipe upgrades, yeah, and then stick that there, and then just grab the point and stick the point on top, and off it goes. Liquid ethylene, it requires a certain amount before it can start crafting, so HDPE is being crafted, so we just need an ender chest, ender chest, there we go, and we're also going to grab ourselves some upgrades to make this thing move along a little bit quicker. So energy, and then speed. Oh, grab the multiple speeds. We don't need that many. And we're just going to stick this on top, which should auto eject out and get inserted into the system. Perfect. So we can put all this stuff away. We don't need it anymore. We'll try and use that merchant gem if a wandering trader shows up and he has some sort of decent item that we could buy off of him. Like maybe a weapon or a piece of armor. We'll see if we can buy something cheap off of him because it says it can do something for the merchant. Oh, and it looks like it started to rain. Well, that's kind of cool the way the clouds covered over. But anyway, so I don't think there's anything else we need to sit here and do. Actually, one last thing is actually create the pattern for the HDPE. And you might have noticed a couple extra ender chests around that thing. I'll get over those now in a second. So we're just going to turn this pattern. I don't know why it didn't let me click the pattern. There we go. So what we have in here is sulfur, because now we're going to need this sulfur to crush into a dust. And then that dust is going to be used in a chemical oxidizer to make sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide mixed with oxygen makes sulfur trioxide. Then mix that with water vapor makes the sulfuric acid. And then that's how you melt down all your resources. So what we actually are going to be melting down is fluorite into hydrofluoric acid, combining that with uranium oxide, which is this yellow cake uranium, which is enriched in chamber in uranium. I have an ender chest over here of uranium. And when they combine, that makes the fuel. I think it makes uranium hexafluoride, that goes into an isotopic centrifuge, and then it makes it into the fuel to run the reactor. So uranium's in here and fluorite is in here. We're going to process up the uranium and the sulfur over in the mechanism area. So we just need to come over here and put this in this enrichment chamber, and we're pretty much ready to go. So let's head over there now. There's no point trying to sleep because, yeah, we won't be able to sleep. Badlands, and what's here? A river. All rivers along here? Okay, that's not too bad. So what I want to do is actually set up the actual fuel production right here, have the reactor built right here, and boiler over there, and the turbine right there. So the turbine is going to generate the power from the boiler, so it turns the steam back into water. The water is going to get turned into steam because of the sodium that's going to be coming out of the reactor, and then it's going to be pumped over there. The sodium is going to cool because it's boiling the water, so it's going to be transferring as heat, and then the cooled sodium will be pumped back into the reactor to continue cooling it. We're going to set up like redundancies and everything as well, so it'll have like, if it reaches a certain temperature, it'll turn off and activate sodium cooling. If it reaches a certain fuel level, we might be able to turn it off then as well. Because there is like an issue I have noticed. I don't know if it is just because I wasn't in the overworld, but for some reason, I don't think the chunks are actually staying loaded, even though I have this place chunk loaded. I don't know, because I was in the other dimension, because I was trying to see how we find stellarite, because we're going to need quite a bit of this now, but it doesn't tell me how to make it, so I have no clue where I'm supposed to get this from. I think I heard I can get it in the Twilight Forest, and I do have like 1 or 2 pieces, so I want to know where I found it. I have 2 pieces, so I think I found this in the other when I was looking for vibranium, so I just need to keep searching for it. And if I can find one, I might be able to use a scanner, if there's still a scanner in here. No, okay, there's no scanner in here. And there's no way to make a potion of sight for it, so we might just have to get like a builder. Oh wait, we can't use builders in the... we're going to have to figure something out because we're going to need quite a bit. I wonder, can we quarry the Twilight Forest? If we can quarry the Twilight Forest, we might be able to find a bit in there. So we'll have to see what we can do. But anyway, that's what I was looking for that for. Okay, it actually is a thunderstorm, I think, now, because I don't remember it turning nighttime, unless it was. It doesn't really matter. So, what do we need? We need to make ourselves a chemical oxidizer, rotary condensators, chemical dissolution chambers, chemical infusers, pressurized react... Actually, no, we don't need a pressurized reaction chamber. We can bookmark that. And isotopic centrifuges. So, let's make that now. So this is made like this. We just need one of these. Boom. And then we're just going to need a chemical infuser. I think I actually have all those crafted. If we go in here to have Mekanism, I have all the patterns made for those. So we have chemical oxidizers, chemical crystallizers. No, it's not chemical crystallizers we need. It is the chemical dissolution chambers, which I think I may have set up the wrong pattern for. So I'm just going to make 2 of these guys because I think I only need 1, but I'll make 2 anyway. So chemical oxidizer, I need a second chemical oxidizer because we need 1 for uranium, 1 for sulfur. We're going to need a bunch of pulverizers. I don't have a pattern for pulverizers. I'm going to have to go back and make one of those because we need to pulverize the sodium, or not sodium, sulfur, because you can't use it in anything else. I thought maybe we can put like an enrichment chamber or a crusher. No, it only works in a pulverizer. So yeah, we need to get a thermal series pulverizer, or not thermal, yeah, thermal expansion, thermal series, same thing. So we need to turn that sulfur into sulfur dust, and we're probably going to need a few of these guys because this probably isn't going to be the quickest machine there. So let's start off by actually laying out the actual reactor itself. So let's go to Mechanism, and we're going to grab out our fission reactor casing. We're going to grab out our reactor glass, fission reactor ports, control rod assemblies, and fissile fuel assemblies. I'm probably going to need like another 64 of them. So I'm just going to craft another 64. And there we go. Right, so if we're going to be done the fuel here, we'll kind of space this out a bit. So we'll probably start about here. So come in 2 blocks. We're probably going to expand that platform out that way anyway, because we need a big storage for all the spent nuclear waste now we're going to be producing. So this thing I'm going to build is a 9x9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we just need to join them up on each side. Let's grab out our builder's wand. This should make it a little bit easier to build. So we're just going to fill this all the way in. And now we just need to build around the sides except for the front, because that's where I'm going to put reactor glass so we can look inside. There we go. Now we just need to build it up 9. So this is already 2. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. Now we just need reactor glass. So fill this in the front here. I think because of shaders or something, it is not, I don't know, whatever it's doing. It's kind of like bugging out all the connected textures. And then we just need to build across the top right here. Now what we can do is grab control rod assemblies and the fissile fuel assemblies, and we're just going to put these in like an X pattern, like so, and then we're just going to fill in the sides on each side, the middle on each side. There we go. So now we just need to build this up 2 below the top. There we go, because now we have to put the fuel rod assemblies on top of each one of these guys now. There we go, and now we can cover the top of this thing in with the reactor casing. Oh, I'm out of flight here, so I need to use my jetpack. There we go. Now it is constructed, but it's not going to do anything because there's no ports on it. So we need to give it some ports. So we're going to say right here is going to be the fuel input. Over this side now is going to be coolant output and coolant input. So we'll have to change those ports up now in a second, and we are going to have to expand out this island, but we're going to have waste come out here, and we're going to have coolant. Maybe I should put coolant in over there. You know what? I think so, because we're going to be close to the brine there. So actually, let's put the fuel input there and put the coolant in here. Oh wait, no, actually, we're going to have coolant in over here. We can use that as our safety coolant. So we can fill it from here and then just disconnect the connection so it works as a safety. So yeah, we'll do it like that. Okay. So we just need our centrifuge now. So we're just going to go back 3 blocks, and then we're going to say side configurations, items, no items, gases. We're going to input in the back, output out the front. Okay. And then we just need to put all this stuff away here. And we're going to work our way back. So this guy is going to turn uranium hexafluoride into fissile fuel. So uranium hexafluoride is a chemical infuser. So chemical infuser. Where is my chemical infusers? There they are. So you're going to go there. The chemical infuser then, if we go back the way through this one then, is we're going to need uranium oxide. So we need a chemical oxidizer right here. So you're going to have side configurations. We're going to have the items come in the top, and we're going to have the gas come out on the left. There we go. The other thing we're going to need now is an enrichment chamber. So give me out an enrichment chamber. There we go. And let's just upgrade this guy here to a factory. There we go. I don't think we need to go that high, so let's go to advanced. And we can stick this guy actually here. And instead, we can have the item input on the right, and we'll have this guy here set up like this. So he'll output on there and input right here. Yeah, that'll work. Whoa. So it is a thunderstorm. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. We're not in an area where it's going to be raining, and there's nothing here that can catch on fire, so we should be fine. So next up then is, what else do we need to mix together? So to make the uranium hexafluoride, we got the uranium oxide. We need hydrofluoric acid, which is a chemical dissolution chamber. So if we stick the chemical dissolution chamber right here, and we're going to say gases are going to input on the back. Yeah, we'll say gases input on the back and output on the front. And the items are going to be inputted in the top. Yeah, that should work. So if we just grab out some pressurized pipe here. So pressurized pipe. We should be able to hook this up here and this up here, and then we can hook that up there and then this into the reactor. I'll connect it now once we actually are making the fuel. Then we can add a configurator, so config, and now we're just going to tell this guy here to extract, this guy here to extract, and this guy here to extract. So to make the sulfuric acid, so we need the chemical oxidizer. Actually, let's go back to chemical infuser. So hydrofluoric acid is made like that. The sulfuric acid now is another chemical infuser. So what we can do is put another chemical infuser back here. And then we need to input from 2 sides of this guy. So this guy now, if we have a look at the recipes, hydrofluoric acid, uranium hexafluoride, sulfuric acid. So we need sulfur trioxide, which is another chemical infuser with the sulfur dioxide. So if we grab a chemical infuser and put it back here, then we can grab ourselves a chemical oxidizer, stick it right here, and you're going to connect the sulfur into you. So you're going to go like this. So item input the right, and gases are going to output on the left. Auto eject on. It doesn't really matter since we're going to be sending this cable here to extract. You're going to connect there. You're going to connect here. And just configure this guy. So brown in the no items, gases. Let's say the back is going to be brown. And then we're just going to output out the front. Like that. So actually, oh wait, no, I should have done it the other way. That's actually going to be input here, and then get rid of that, and you're going to be that one there. Yeah, because we're inputting that way, I'm going to be outputting there. Okay, there we go. And you, since you're going to be getting, let's check in here. You are going to be getting the, where is it? Is it this one? No. Water vapor, sulfur trioxide. Okay, yeah, you're going to be getting oxygen this side. So we're going to have a chemical, or not a chemical, a metallurgic, no, not metallurgic. What am I saying? What block am I thinking of? Electrolytic separator. So an electrolytic separator is going to go here. And then we're just going to be outputting the oxygen, correct? Oxygen with the sulfur dioxide. Yeah, okay. So inside here, no items, gases. We're actually going to have probably hydrogen come out the front of it here. Because I don't know. I think this guy here needed the hydrogen. No, it's not the hydrogen in there. Oh, it's water vapor, sulfur trioxide. We're making that now from there. So we just need water vapor come in here. So we need a rotary condensator. Okay, and we're just going to turn you around. So if we go in here, no items, gases. We're going to output the gases on the right and the fluid's going to be inputted on the right. Yeah, gases output the left. Right, that's more or less the entire thing. So I'm just going to head back now and make the pattern for the pulverizer so we can actually start crushing up all the sulfur and then we can hook up all the ender chests for it all now. Alright, so if we grab out now the pulverizer, we're probably going to make about, like, I don't know, 4 of them. That should be probably more than enough. So 4 pulverizers, they are going to go in there. So we're just going to set these up like this. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Grab out some ender chests. So ender chest. And we're just going to grab out some dye here. I think for the sulfur, I think I have yellow, orange, yellow. So we'll just double check that. If not, it's orange, yellow, orange. But I think it's yellow, orange, yellow. Yep, there we go. So if we just leave that connected, let's say, let's just grab out some pipe. We'll just connect the pipes up like this. So we'll have items come in the top. And then we're just going to put this ender chest right here. Tell it to extract with a maximum pipe upgrade. Actually, not maximum, but it's advanced. Configuration, input, output. And we just need to do that the whole way. There we go. And now if we look up resonating kits, we have 5. And we're also going to need some flux amplifiers. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm 1 short. Give me out 1 more. There we go. So when these guys get power, they should be running at maximum speed. So if I grab out some cable here and just hook up all of the power like that, we'll run all the power underneath now in a moment to connect up all these machines. But more or less everything here is kind of ready to go. The other thing I'm going to need is a sink. So let's craft ourselves a sink. I don't have any terracotta blocks, so that should craft the terracotta for me. I just need a bucket of water, and I can grab some bucket of water from over here. There's a sink on each one of these guys, so if I just max out like 10 water buckets here, I should be able to make 10 sinks whenever I want. There we go. So we're probably going to need 2 of these guys, so let's make 2 sinks. There we go. So we're going to need 1 here for the rotary condensator to make water vapor. And we're going to need 1 back here so we can actually input the water in so that it'll make our oxygen. So pressurized cable, this one here. So actually, no, we don't need pressurized cable. We just need regular pipes. So fluid pipe. So you're going to go there and you're going to start converting that into oxygen. Yep, so the oxygen is going in here. Oxygen mixed with the sulfur dioxide. So we just need some more item pipes. And I'm just going to tell each one of these guys here to extract. They probably don't need maximum pipe upgrades. To be honest, we could probably hook up more than 1 chemical oxidizer. So yeah, we'll see if we need more. We probably will. More fluid pipe right here. And we'll just tell this thing here to extract. And there we go. So nothing's really going to work as much because there's no power. But anyway, once we get everything hooked up to power here, it should all run straight away. Next up then is going to be hooking up the fluorite, which I thought we could inject the items in the top, but we don't really need to because we can just put it right there. And this one is going to be a light gray dye. So 3 light gray dye makes fluorite, item pipe, and yeah, pipe upgrade. I don't even know if we need a pipe upgrade. Probably not, but we might as well stick one on anyway. And last but not least then, we need to grab out our lime green dye because this is where we're going to be hooking up our uranium now. So we put uranium on top of this guy and we're just going to, oh yeah, I have no flight. Boop, boop, boop. And that should have the uranium. Now we just tell this thing here to extract with a pipe upgrade. There we go. We'll just turn on auto sort. Now, once everything here is hooked up to power, we should be good to go. So I'm just going to start digging out where all the power cable needs to go. While I was flying on the island, just digging out all the holes here, I completely forgot actually I had a cable over here for making the lithium. So if we just hook this all up here, everything here should be running perfectly. Wow, they are loud. I'm probably going to have to turn down the sound of the pulverizers. There we go. So, that is turning in here. Oh, did I not connect you up to power? Oh, no, I did. Oh, wait, I never finished running the power all the way over. Hang on. So, come under here, and I'm just going to run this up like so, and then connect it there. There we go. Now everything's online and running. So we have a look in here. You are making sulfuric acid and you are slowly filling with hydrofluoric acid. You are making the yellow cake uranium, making the fuel. And now if we look in here, we got fissile fuel. Perfect. Now I can just dump all of the stuff out of my inventory. And all I need to give everything here is an upgrade. Oh my god, it is so loud. Give me a moment to mute all of these things and give them all upgrades. Alright, there we go. It's a lot quieter and everything here is fully upgraded. I also went ahead and added an extra 3 chemical oxidizers because this thing wasn't making enough sulfur dioxide. But you can still see it's still not even making enough. So I might need to even add more, but we'll see how it goes for now. We'll hold off for a bit because we are producing still quite a bit of fuel, as you can see, like 190k. Or just not, actually it's only about 200 buckets in there. Is it? I don't know, something like that. Doesn't really matter anyway. Whoa, hello. What are you selling? Can we use your... Ooh, actually that's pretty good. Let's grab out our merchant crystal from Coral Tombstone. Hang on. Grail. Wait, where does that crystal go? Here it is. No, that's a familiar stone. Is it called stone? Oh, there it is. Okay, I couldn't see it for a second. So, merchant stone. If I just grab out a sleeping bag and quickly sleep here, let's see what this merchant stone does to this wandering trader. Currently holding right click. Merchant already offers all his exchanges. Huh? Okay. What if I buy your golden apple and do it again? Okay, I have no clue what this thing does. It doesn't seem to be doing anything good for me, so whatever, it doesn't matter. We got an enchanted golden apple from it, so that's nice. Anyway, so what we need to do now is actually start making the actual boiler itself. So if we look up boiler, which I don't think I actually made the patterns for, did I? Oh no, I did. Okay, perfect. This guy is pretty much going to be the exact same size. So we're just going to space it out a bit as well. So we're going to have this thing as a 9x9 now as well. And the way this guy is going to be slightly different. I'm going to have to look up how this thing is made again, but I think I need superheating elements across the bottom. I need pressure dispersers, I think, across the top, and then I can cover the outside then in structural glass. I just need to build this all the way up like this now. And yeah, so let me go ahead and just double check what I need to do to craft this thing fully. So 1 second. All right, I had a look again and I kind of know what I need to do. So I need to turn these superheating elements into the bottom here. I'm going to need a bit more. So super heating elements. I just went ahead and made a new pattern for it. So give me out like 30 more. There we go. This should be enough. And they should form like a multi-block or at least connecting texture once they are all down, I think. I need 3 more. There we go. For some reason or not, kind of similar to the way this thing kind of glitches out. I don't know if it has something to do with shaders on, because this thing seems to be working like in a perfect multi-block connecting texture now, so maybe this thing will work when I reload the area. Structural glass then, I'm going to surround the entire outside of it like this. Okay, and then I need pressure dispersers. So disperse, and we're going to get these now to turn on hover mode, and I need to fill in the ceiling with boiler casing. There we go. And now I just need to fill in all the pressure dispersers. Okay. Oh, you can see now the bottom is just completely filled in now with the connecting texture, so that's good. Now we can pretty much get out our infinity wand, fill in all of this. Okay, all the textures seem to be breaking, but one more up. Actually, I think I can just fill in the edges here because this is where we're going to be putting our valves now so we can transfer the sodium or the steam and the water back and forth between the turbine. I need a bit more boiler casing. And red particles, yep, perfect. Okay, then the thing built. So what we need to do then is over here. So this is where we're going to be outputting the coolant, I'd say, because we're probably going to be producing the coolant on the other side. So we can say output of waste, output of coolant. And then we can just hook up the cable right here. So in here, this is where the input is going to go. So we're going to have a boiler valve there. Actually, I think I'm going to have a few of these here for the input. And then we're just going to have one for the output and then multiple inputs here. So we're going to have a total of 4 in and 4 out on each one. I doubt I even need this, but just to be on the safe side, I want to make sure this thing is exporting out at its maximum speed so we don't run into any issues. So you are going to be output of coolant, you're going to be input, and then if we just grab out more boiler valves up here, we're going to have input of water and output of steam. So input and then output of steam. There we go. And now we have to build the actual turbine itself here. And I think the turbine is 9 by 13. I'm trying to remember the way I built it before. I'm going to have to go double check that. So give me a moment to grab out everything and mark out the shape of the thing. Okay, so this is the size we're going to go with. 9 by 17, which is actually fairly big. I actually went ahead and upgraded the size of the boiler then as well, because I went back and looked at one of my other videos and I built this, and I had the boiler the same size as the turbine. Close enough to it, I think, anyway. But anyway, this turbine's built, and there should be plenty of space in here for this thing to work and convert all the heated sodium into water, steam, and whatever. So, to build this turbine now, we're going to need 8 turbine rotors down here. So we're going to go up 8 of these. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're going to cover the thing here in rotor blades, okay? On top of that then is a rotational complex, and then surrounding that then is pressure dispersers. It's exactly 48 of them, I think, to fill the entire thing. I'm kind of following like a guide on like one of the wikis or something. I think it's an old wiki. It's the FTB wiki. So I don't know how accurate it is for this, but it seems to have worked for me in the past. So we need to surround the entire edge of it here now in turbine vents, like so. And now we're just going to build all the way up till the top block there. And now pretty much the only thing we need to do is actually put 4 of these guys in here. And the thing can only support 4 of them because I think it does 2. I think each coil can support 2 rotational blades or whatever. So we only need 4 of them for 8 of them. So that's okay. Then the rest is pretty much just filling the entire thing on the inside with saturating condensers. I think it only required like maybe 400 of these in the wiki. I'll just double check. Oh no, it's only 126. But then that will just leave a load of empty space in here. But it doesn't matter if you really fill the entire thing up with saturating condensers, because it's not going to utilize all of them. So it won't really matter. So then the top then is going to be covered in vents, like so. Now what we have to do is grab out a bunch more structural glass. Just give me out, I don't know, like another 300 of it. And all we have to do now is fill the entire thing up from the bottom. As you can see, this is quite a big, like, saturating area there. So hopefully this thing works as well as I'm hoping. I mean, this turbine size compared to the reactor size, there should be no issues. I'd rather the turbine being way too powerful for the reactor to keep up with, because at least then we won't have to worry about cooling problems or anything like that. So, turbine, we need to grab out some of the valves, and we need one for input of steam and water. So we're just going to say steam is going to go in here, and water is going to come out here. Okay, so they're opposite each one of those. Then we're just going to go, let's say, over here, and we're just going to stick a plug right here. So any power this thing generates should go into the system. And also we're going to put this to dump excess steam, because if this thing fills up with steam, it should dump the excess, so we shouldn't have to worry about anything. We're still limiting on the vents, even though there's 242 of them in there, but it doesn't really matter. It says our max production should be 17 million FE, which is insane. And a max water output should be about 18,000 buckets at a time, so we shouldn't have any issues there. So all we have to do now is just grab out a sink. I seem to always need terracotta, so craft me like 1,000 terracotta. So if we grab ourselves out a sink, and we're just going to put the sink right here. Actually, give me out some pipe. Would this pipe be better? This will output 10 buckets at a time. How many buckets will this output? Pump rate 32 buckets at a time. So I think the mechanical pipe from Mekanism was actually going to be a lot quicker. So I don't have that set up. Let me go make a pattern for that to make it easier. All right, there we go. So all we have to do now is say this is going to go there, and it's going to go the whole way across. Why isn't this accepting? Do I need to configure this? No. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't connect to the valve. It just goes straight into the actual vent, right? Is this right? And then the steam input's there. So this guy is going to be steam output. And if I look up pressurized pipe, it should connect into here, right? Yeah, so that connects. So this is going to be exporting the steam into it, this guy here is going to be exporting water out. Okay, so if we just grab a sink and put the sink there and just connect up a load of ports on this thing like so. Oh, we're out of flight now. Go back up and connect all of these like this. And now each side of this guy, we just tell it to extract like so. And that you can see the entire boiler here now filling with water, which is exactly what we want. Now, all we have to do is start making the sodium, wait for this thing to fill, and then we should be good. How are we doing here on our fuel? Wow, okay, we're producing a lot of fuel here, which is amazing. Right, let's go ahead now and look up electrolytic separator. And we're probably going to settle up like 10 of them because we're going to need quite a bit. All right, so 10 of these guys. And they're all just going to be turning into sodium now. So we're just going to set these all up along here. You know what? This is probably actually too many. I'd say 5 is probably more than enough. We're just going to hook up the cable across the top because we don't need to really worry about where the cable's going to go. I can just run the cable up in the back here. Actually, you know what? We'll just keep it underneath, actually. It makes more sense to do it that way. Right, what we need to do now is separate the brine, I'm pretty sure. So if we look up brine, gaseous brine is going to be, or a liquid in an electrolytic separator makes sodium. So that's what we need to do. So we need to tell this thing here that no items, but the gas we want is the first one. So output that one on the top, and then the fluids are going to be inputted on the front. Now I need to do that for the rest of them. Okay, so we're just going to hook up like all these jumbo tanks now to it. And we're just going to stack them all up like this or something. This is what's going to keep us going for a while. So hopefully there's enough in here. Probably shouldn't have made this many tanks, but whatever. Here we go. All I have to do now is just tell each one of these guys here to extract and give them a pipe upgrade. There we go. So now each one of these guys are slowly making sodium. We're going to dump the excess chlorine. We can make more chlorine later on. It's not that big of a deal. So there we go. All we have to do now is grab at the pressurized pipe and hook it up right here. So hopefully now this guy here is filling with sodium cooling. Perfect. All I have to do now is give this guy an upgrade and then just let it fill all the way up. And then we're going to have a redundant amount of it here just in case of a fail. So we should be good with that then. So what I'm going to do now is wait for this to fill up, give it upgrades, and I'm going to expand the platform out that way by like another chunk. That way we can set up the actual polonium and plutonium production and put up the spent nuclear waste storage. So, BRB. Okay, so it's been a while now and the thing is completely filled up with sodium. This took a while. I've actually left it run overnight. So I have all these pressurized tubes here filling up to work as the redundant fuel, or not redundant fuel, redundant cooling, just in case this thing here doesn't get any more coolant or whatever, something happens and the temperature starts to raise. So what I have right here is I forgot to add these two logic adapters. One of these guys are set to activation and the other one is set to high temperature. So pretty much what's going to happen is if I grab out some, I don't know, like a deep slate block here, put a deep slate out by 2, I'm going to put a piece of redstone right here, okay, and then we're going to put a redstone torch right here. I'm going to grab on my configurator and we're going to turn on redstone sensitivity on this cable. Oh wait, I have it set to wrench mode. If we set redstone sensitivity on this, now if we get rid of the redstone signal, it will get rid of that. So pretty much when this thing outputs a redstone signal, it will disable the torch, allowing this thing here to input in the excess cooling, which is exactly what we want. So it's going to leave these guys run and fill up with sodium, so it's fine. We're almost ready to hook up the fuel, but first what I need to do now is stick a piston right here, stick a gravel on top, stick a deep slate, and then hook up this observer. And we just need to hook the observer kind of just like right here. As long as he's facing out the way, it's okay. Yeah, perfect. So pretty much now what happens is when this thing detects a block, it sends a redstone signal in. And if the reactor is active, it will deactivate the reactor. Like if we have a look in here, just hover over this one, it says activates the reactor when powered and deactivates the reactor when unpowered. So pretty much what happens is this thing, when it gets the redstone signal, will deactivate the reactor and pretty much turn the thing off so it won't try to explode if anything bad happens. So that's all we need to do there. So let's hook up where the waste output is. And you can see, because I said I was going to hook up the extra platform. And yeah, I just went ahead and did this because it would just been bored and putting it down. So I have a bunch of pressurized tubes and I don't know how many barrels here, I did create like 4,000 barrels, and if we look at waste barrels, there's a little under, okay, there's about 1,200 barrels here, or 2,200 barrels or something. There's like a lot of barrels there. And hopefully this is more than enough. If I notice they start to fill up, we'll add more and keep going up. Right, so what we need to do, pressurized pipe. So pressurized pipe, and we're just going to hook this up along here. So you're going to come out, we just need to set you up to waste, and you're going to come out along here like so. Then we're going to go ahead and connect ourselves the isotopic centrifuge, which is going to go, let's say, we'll just stick it right here. And then we're just going to stick a pressurized reaction chamber here. You are hooked up pretty much ready to go. So we're just going to say input gases in the back and output out the front. This guy is going to require water, I believe. Hydrogen gas, helium gas, water. Yeah, it's water. For some reason it just shows all these other random things, but no, I just need to input in some water. So I could probably hook up just an ender tank with water in it. The other thing we need is fluorite dust, and that's, I'm pretty sure, just a crusher. Yeah, we just need to put a crusher with the fluorite on it. So if we just look up a crusher here, I do have this advanced one, so we can actually put these between the two of them. So what I can do is take out all that coal dust. In here, we can say items with input and output left and right auto eject on. So we can just hook up a cable or like a pipe and an ender chest on top, just pumping in the fluorite. We'll have power going in underneath. We'll have water going in here, water going in here, waste out the front, items auto eject out the top. So just some ender tanks, an ender chest. We're going to stick 3 of these on. So you're going to get an ender chest. We're just going to grab out some pipe upgrades now. So item pipes and whatever. And we're just going to stick the ender tank here and an ender tank here. The other pressurized reaction chamber here. Now we just need to make sure we configure this correctly. So items are going to eject out the top. Items are going to input in on the right. Fluids are going to be input in on the left. And gases are going to be input through the back and output out the front. Now we need to do the same for this guy, just the item input is opposite. And then we just get some pressurized pipe, connect that there, and then just run it to here. There we go. That's pretty much it. So the other thing we need is the solar neutron activator. You're going to go here. And I think the thing about this guy is I think he only ejects out the bottom. Oh no, you can side configure this guy now. I remember before you could only input and output on this guy. They must have changed it because I don't remember this being an option. So I can input to the back and output out the front. Perfect. Okay, great. That actually works out so much better. So all I have to do now is just grab out some blue dye and put this here as water. And if I really need to, I could probably just put a sink here if it's not able to keep up. So just by twisting this now, it should auto eject water out. And there we go again. So that should be water ejecting out. Put the U right there. And then we just need to grab this item pipe, stick it here. And we just need to disconnect it here, like so. And then to stick this on top. And since fluorite is like grey, so we just look up some grey dye. Jump up on top of it here and just dye it grey. Fluorite inside and just tell this thing here to extract. There we go. Some pipe upgrades and off it goes. Now, of course, we don't have any power in here and it's all going in there first. So we just grab out some cable. We should be able to hook the power up directly underneath it right here because we are going to have to connect it in there. Oh, my magnet wasn't turned on. Weird. Polished deep slate. All right. Let's go under the island here and hook up this power. All right, just connect this cable and we're done. So everything here is pretty much ready to go. All we have to do is basically just turn on the reactor. So pressurized cable, because I need to hook up the actual fuel going in now. And if we just put this here, the whole thing is filled and it's going to start generating up more. Wow, I used up half the fuel in the cable. I guess actually adding another one on kind of added an extra million onto it, but still, you only used half of the fuel that it produced. So it's pretty much ready to go. So we have a burn rate by default when you first build it of 0.1. So we're probably going to inject probably about 2 and see how it goes. We just want to make sure that our coolant is working. So yeah, I guess this is ready to go. I think I had this actually set up the opposite way. I think I had it where it was extracting out of one and inputting into multiple. No, I actually meant to have it so it extracts out of multiple and inserts into one. So that's what I've done here. So this is inputting in the heated sodium. You're extracting out the cooled sodium and water exchange is going to happen up there. So let's turn it on. Everything looks stable. Turbine is starting to fill with steam. You are still good as long as this thing here is filled with water. We shouldn't have any issues. Sodium is building kind of stabilized, so yeah, it's working. So if we come over here now, we can see that the cable here is starting to fill with nuclear waste. It's being built in here, and every 10 millibuckets is 1. So it's being pumped into here, and it seems to be going in here at the same rate. Yeah, more or less close enough. And it needs 1,000 to make 1 polonium pellet. And once it makes that, it makes a bucket of waste. And then that waste gets stored in those barrels. So that's pretty much it then. I don't think there's anything else left to work on here. So I don't know what's the best number to throw it at. Like, you should be making power. You're currently producing 91,000. We could probably increase it. So if we go in here, scram, it doesn't actually... Does it let you turn the thing? Anyway, we'll just throw it up to 10. And get ready to scram just in case. Nope, looks good to me. And this guy now is building up even more. We were producing 91, now we're producing nearly 500,000 FE, which is insane. And this guy here is completely stable. Let's just ball out. Let's go to 20. It should be able to handle this. Yeah, it's handling it. We're nearly producing 1,000,000 FE, which is insane. Actually, I think one thing I need to quickly check is I don't think this guy here is, yeah, I need to set up to bypass the limit so we can export all of that power out into our induction matrix. So yeah, that's pretty much it then. So this guy should be producing waste and storing it in those barrels, and you can see it's going up fairly quickly. So we only need a couple thousand of each. So once that's happened, we should be good to go and make our SPS. And where we're going to build that? Probably there. Since we're going to need the stuff from the solar neutron activator, this polonium right here, we need to pull that out and put it into the thing. So we can probably just disable this guy not to output anymore. So yeah, so I'm going to there. Hope you all enjoyed. And if you did, don't forget that like button, subscribe if you're new, and hit that notification bell while you're at it then as well. So without any further ado, goodbye.